YouTube, what's up? Fresh 2-round mock draft for you guys today. 9 days away till the NFL draft. Can't wait. And this mock, I'm predicting the pick. It's more along the lines of what I think will happen. I'm going to go in depth about pretty much every pick, kind of talking about the player and if I think it should be the pick or not, or why I think that will be the pick. But very hard this year to actually predict a pick. I have a pretty good idea on it, but just because there's so much talent in this draft, like well into the second round, there's first round talent guys that could be first rounders and wouldn't be bad picks if they're first rounders. So it shows how good the draft class is and shows how hard it is to really predict each pick, see what's going to happen. And obviously there's going to be trades. Not going to do any trades in the mock, but let's get into it. First overall pick, Cleveland Browns, Myles Garrett, not changing it. Edge rusher from Texas A&M, I'm not changing this pick. Should be the pick, and I think it will be the pick. Don't really have to go into discussion about that. Second overall, I have the Niners taking Solomon Thomas, D lineman from Stanford. Now, it sounds like this will be the pick. I know the Niners have a bunch of offers to trade out of this pick. Will they do it? We're just going to have to wait and see. I don't think Thomas should be the pick. I think he's a great player, but I don't think he's worth the second overall. Great player again, mainly a run stuffer, probably the best in the draft at run stopping. But it's a passing league now, and he can get to the quarterback. But if you're gonna go D lineman, I'd rather have a guy that is better at getting to the quarterback. I know he has a ton of potential and is good at it, but I would look at maybe a Jamal Adams with the second pick. Solomon Thomas sounds realistic that he will be the second though. Third pick, Bears, Marshawn Lattimore, corner from Ohio State. Now another one that I don't know if I would really agree with the pick, but the Bears are in the market for a corner. They're rumored to really like Lattimore, and he's just really on the rise. His play is solid, like great corner, great player. His talent for me, I don't know if it's worth the third pick, but it's probably close. But then you factor in his small injuries here and there, really scares me. Kind of came out of games during his career, and even the combine he came out of it with a small injury, hip flexor, and you had the hamstring injury coming back now and then. So it's a scary pick this early, but it sounds realistic. Bears are in the market for a corner. On to the fourth pick, I have the Jaguars taking Jonathan Allen, D lineman from Alabama. Love Jonathan Allen, but here I would take Leonard Fournette. Really, if they don't trade, I think it's Jonathan Allen or Leonard Fournette, but I'm leaning towards them taking Jonathan Allen. I just think he kind of just fits what they're trying to do. Coughlin really likes Jonathan Allen supposedly, and they're really going to just get that defense ready to go, try to build one of the top defenses in the NFL, hopefully in the near future. And it wouldn't be a bad pick. I would just go with Fournette. I think they also think they're pretty set with their running backs, but I think Fournette is just takes them to that next level, really opens things up for that offense if they took him. But Allen wouldn't be a bad pick. Again, I would just go Fournette. With the fifth pick, I have the Titans taking Jamal Adams, safety from LSU. Obviously, the Titans need a corner pretty bad. They also need a receiver, but releasing Jason McCourty recently and already needing a corner before that shows that they have a pretty big need at corner. But with Jamal Adams being here, I don't see how you could pass on him. I mean, he's a guy that can play corner. I think he'd probably be the first or second best corner in this draft. But as a safety, I have him at my best safety. I just don't think. First, I think the Titans will trade. 2 picks, I think they'll trade with at least one, move somewhere. Could be here. But if they stay put, I don't see them passing on Jamal Adams. Just too good of a player. So with 1 pick remaining, they still have a big need at corner and receiver. We'll get to their next pick in a little bit here. Now the Jets pick, tough one. But I went with Deshaun Watson, quarterback from Clemson. It's really up in the air. They can go Leonard Fournette here with him still on the board. They could be interested in a corner, but Lattimore gone. Malik Hooker could be an option, but I think they'll go quarterback. Hard to tell which one. My guess is Watson or Trubisky. I went with Watson. I think most teams got to have Watson as their #1 quarterback, but that's a pick that's really up in the air. And the 7th pick, I have the Chargers taking Malik Hooker, safety from Ohio State. Kind of one that I was really just sticking with Chargers taking Malik Hooker. Kind of just makes sense. Best player available, and it's a need here, so pretty simple. And then the Panthers taking Leonard Fournette, running back LSU. That is just the dream for the Panthers. They may have to trade up to get him. They want a running back. Fournette fits their offense. Not too many teams have him fitting their offense. The Panthers do like him fitting their style, and it would just be a perfect situation. It'd be something if he dropped here. Again, I think they could end up trading up just to make sure they get him, or they can go a different route. On to the next 8 picks. I have the Bengals taking Derek Barnett, edge rusher from Tennessee. Kind of ends up being an underrated guy now. I think he's a top 8 player, easy, clearly, but he could fall to here. I know some people have him falling even further. That's why I'm considering him more of an underrated player now, a sleeper guy in the first round now, which is crazy because the main job of an edge rusher is to get to the quarterback. He does that at a very high level. Bengals would be happy to get him. They need to get their defense back to where it was a few years ago. And first step for that is to get a solid pass rush, upgraded pass rush, which they desperately need, I think. And Derek Barnett does that. On to the next pick, the Bills. I have them taking Mike Williams, wide receiver Clemson. Now, Bills, I'm pretty confident they're going to go receiver. Just which one is the question. Mike Williams, the one I went with, kind of the safer one. Now, people will disagree with me that he's the safer one because of his speed. I'm not too worried about it. And what I mean by the safer one is Corey Davis has not been able to work out yet. John Ross just had surgery. I don't find those concerns like too major for those two guys, but Mike Williams is the least concerning guy. Opens things up downfield for the Bills, which they haven't really had. It could open things up for other types of plays with Sammy Watkins if he stays healthy, because we know he's a speed guy. He can pretty much run all the routes, but really something different, something that they need, obviously. Saints pick is next. It's a pretty simple one. If Reuben Foster's here, I think they got to take him. Just obviously the best player available, and the Saints are going defense. They need defense. Huge need pretty much anywhere on the defense, so it's a pretty much a no-brainer pick if he's here. Then the 12th pick, the Browns take Mitch Trubisky, quarterback, North Carolina. They are rumored to love Trubisky. Some rumors that they would take him with the first pick. Not buying that, but I think he has a chance to be your 12th, and they'd be happy to get him. Also had O.J. Howard here at one point, back and forth on that, but if Trubisky's there, I think they would take him. Now, the next pick, I have the Cardinals going Corey Davis, wide receiver, Western Michigan. Cardinals they don't have like a major need anywhere, but they have quite a few needs that they would like to fill. And I think receiver is one of them. Corey Davis, if he's there, they could go that route. I'm hearing Corey Davis could go anywhere early first round to late first round. So it's really up in the air for him. They also can go quarterback. I think obviously they would like Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's there, but the more their style would be Mahomes and Kizer. So I think Mahomes could be an option here, but I went with Corey Davis. And the Eagles pick next. Eagles, I have them taking Garyon Conley, corner from Ohio State. Eagles have a big need at corner, and Garyon Conley's been on the rise lately, so it makes sense he goes here. Colts up next. I have the Colts taking Dalvin Cook, running back, Florida State. Now, there's rumors of him dropping because of off-the-field issues. To me, he's a top 10 player easily. So I don't know if the Colts let him pass. The Eagles might not let him pass, but I don't have the Colts passing on him. The Colts, hard to tell what they're going to do. On offense side of the ball, if they went offense, it would be running back or offensive line. And if it was defense, they really could use any position. So maybe they start the first round with some defense. But with Dalvin Cook being here, he's such a great, rare talent. I don't see them passing on him if he's there. But we'll see how far he slides on draft day. And then the Ravens, I have the Ravens taking O.J. Howard, tight end from Alabama. They need a receiver pretty bad. But O.J. Howard is definitely a threat downfield with two receivers gone. They could go John Ross, had John Ross here at one point. But O.J. Howard, I don't see him getting past this point. May go earlier in this. I said this in the past. I think O.J. Howard may be a guy that a team trades up to get, because most of those teams that really need tight ends are kind of in the back end of the first, so they could trade up to get him. And he's just too good of a talent to get by this point, in my opinion. So that's why I made a switch from John Ross to O.J. Howard. They do have Pitta, but they can use an upgrade. They can use another one. So can't be afraid to get better there. On the next 8 picks, I have the Redskins taking Patrick Mahomes, quarterback, Texas Tech. Kirk Cousins will be the quarterback this year. How much longer is unknown. I think it's only for another year. Kind of wants out. Mahomes has a ton of potential, a guy I really like. A guy the Redskins could like for a replacement in the near future. Kind of back and forth between Kizer and Mahomes here. I know they're also in need of safety they're looking for, and possibly a running back would be a wild card position. But I went with Patrick Mahomes. Just have a feeling about Mahomes, and I think the Redskins may have a feeling too. The Titans, I have the Titans taking John Ross, wide receiver from Washington. Now, Titans' second pick without taking a corner. Pretty mind-blowing stuff, but if they sit still, it's not really, because Jamal Adams is just too good to pass, and John Ross is just too good to pass, and they both help their team right away. So it's just they still are in big need of a corner, and they do not pick in the second round. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. But it's, again, both these guys will help the team and fill somewhat of a need, especially John Ross. But again, I think the Titans will trade at some point here in the first round. We'll see. And the Buccaneers next, Christian McCaffrey, running back from Stanford. Bucs have some defensive needs. They also would like another running back, and a guy like McCaffrey that can play running back or receiver will fill a need. Maybe not a giant need, but it'll give them an upgrade. They'll be better with him. I like Kamara a lot too. That could be the pick, but I think it's more likely McCaffrey goes. He can go earlier in this. Just recent rumors, a team around this area has guaranteed if he's there, they would take him. So wondering who that team is, but I think this is the latest he goes. Maybe the next pick, the Broncos trade up for him. They're supposed to like McCaffrey a lot, rumored to like him a lot. But I have the Broncos going Garrett Bowles, offensive lineman, Utah. Broncos obviously need an offensive lineman. Bowles seems to be the favorite as of now for most teams, even though he's going to be 25 years old. But maybe the more consistent offensive lineman, Ramczyk, probably would be, but injury concerns there. So I have the Broncos going Garrett Bowles. I have the Lions going Taco Charlton, edge rusher from Michigan. Kind of the point where it's too good to pass. Good value pick, a need, and I know that they like Taco Charlton a lot. They're very interested in him, so they could go him there. Dolphins need a linebacker, and Hassan Reddick is the best one available. Maybe a DN the next level, but he would be tried out at linebacker pretty much any team, I believe, at this point, because he says he can also play middle linebacker, but I think he's outside. The Dolphins have a big need at linebacker, so Hassan Reddick, too good to pass there, and also fills a need. The Giants, I have the Giants going Cam Robinson, offensive lineman, Alabama. He's starting to get some buzz again. A couple months ago, he was a first rounder, then kind of dropped to the second. Inconsistencies and off-the-field issues, but he's kind of back in. The Giants need an offensive lineman. They're supposed to like Cam Robinson. I think they may go with him here. I don't know if I really agree with the pick. I don't think they need an offensive lineman that badly. I would go with more of a player that can help you right away, but solid offensive lineman, possibility. Raiders taking Chidobe Awuzie, defensive back from Colorado. Probably the biggest riser in the draft this year. He's going in the first round now. Sounds like he's going in the first round. The Raiders, I know the Raiders like him. That's kind of that Raiders pick too. That seems like a Raiders pick. He's a solid player, corner, slot corner, and safety. Can play all three. My problem is, can he play any of the three in a first round level? It's great that he can play all three. Not too many other guys can do that, and that could make him a first round, just alone make him a first round guy. But can he play any of those at a first round level? I think his best position is probably slot corner, which is very important these days in the NFL. So I don't know if he should go first. I kind of have him early second, but the Raiders are very interested in him, and it sounds like he is going to go first round. Could be a little later in this, though. We'll have to wait and see. The last 8 picks in the first round, I have the Texans taking Deshaun Kizer, quarterback from Notre Dame. Now, this would be a perfect situation where just the fourth quarterback and one that I'm guessing, are high on because he fits their style. This would be perfect. They may have to trade up for one. My prediction is they may trade up for one. I think either Kizer or Mahomes would fit their style of offense the best. But if Kizer falls here, I think that's just a dream situation for the Texans. Seahawks. I have the Seahawks going Obi Melifonwu, defensive back, UConn. Reason I put DB is because I believe he would be tried out at corner for the Seahawks. Teams believe he will be able to play corner even better than he plays safety, and he's shown a lot of improvement over the years at safety and shows that he can play that. But the Seahawks really like him, and I think they would like him at corner. Or safety if Earl Thomas goes down again, or Cam Chancellor, he would be plugged in at safety. But I can see them trying him out at corner, and I know they have high interest on him. Offensive lineman could be another option. I have the Chiefs going Marlon Humphrey, corner from Alabama. They could use another corner with Marcus Peters. They don't really have too many big needs. Chiefs are a solid team. Could use a linebacker possibly too. And Marlon Humphrey, I know teams are very high on his potential. I think this is should be more of his range, but I don't think he gets past his point. Could go earlier in this because of his potential is through the roof. And the Chiefs pairing him with Marcus Peters would be very good. Cowboys next. Kind of had DB all along with the Cowboys here, and I would change it. Went with Takk McKinley, edge rusher from UCLA. They could use another edge rusher to get to the quarterback. Very important. A guy that can play D-end or outside linebacker. I know they are interested in McKinley. They have high interest on him. They like him a lot. This could be defensive back, though, with Melifonwu or Marlon Humphrey off the board. Garyon Conley off the board. They could go with McKinley. He could be their best player available. But, again, could be DB. And the Packers, I have the Packers going Quincy Wilson, corner from Florida. I think this is his range, even though it should be a little earlier, I think. Should be more that mid to late first round. Not this late, though, but I think this is his range. Maybe a boom or bust corner. Has a ton of potential, good size. Pretty much does everything right. I think he should be picked higher, but Packers would love to have a guy like this in there. They need a bigger corner like him, an outside corner. Steelers, I have the Steelers taking Gerard Davis, linebacker from Florida. They could definitely use any type of linebacker. Gerard Davis can play middle at a high level and is worth a first-round pick. Next pick, Falcons, Charles Harris, edge rusher from Missouri, who's kind of gaining some buzz. One point was an early second-rounder. Now just pretty much a lock at a late first. Could still go early second. But solid edge rusher. I like him better at DM than outside linebacker. Fits the Falcons. They would love to have another guy with Vic Beasley that can get after the quarterback and get that defense at the next level. And the last pick in the first, I have the Saints going Kevin King, corner from Washington. They need a corner. I expected them to take one in the first round. They went Reuben Foster with the other pick. So it kind of seems like they'll go corner with this next one. Which one is the question? Kevin King getting a lot of buzz. Him and Awuzie are probably the biggest risers in the draft. I think Awuzie being the biggest, and then Kevin King, big corner. I'm more comfortable with him in the early second, but sounds like it's a very good possibility he can go late first, and this would be fill a need for the Saints, and it's possible. And we're on to the second round. I can't believe the talent that is still available in the second round. Unbelievable. There's definitely first-round talent here in the second. Let's start off with the Browns. I have the Browns taking Jabril Peppers. I think he drops to round 2. There might be a team that really pulls the trigger and takes him in the first, but I think teams are starting to realize that if he's going to be a safety, which he's supposed to be, there are better safeties than him in this draft class. They're more experienced there, and they're just better. Jabril Peppers has a chance to be better than them, but kind of a boomer bust guy. Big risk taking him, so I have the Browns taking him, fills a need, and I can see the Browns taking a chance on him. I have the Niners taking Davis Webb, quarterback, California. Now he's supposed to go. I don't agree with him going this early, but he's supposed to go this early, and the Niners could be an option there. And the Bears with the next pick, David Njoku, Miami tight end, another first-round talent. Couldn't believe I couldn't squeeze him in anywhere in the first round. Had him at the Giants at one point there in the first, but hard to tell where he will go. He's definitely a first-round talent. The Bears do have a few tight ends on their roster, but their better one, Miller, keeps getting hurt. They signed Deion Sims, but if you're trying to like contend or compete for that division, I think you could get better at tight end, and Njoku is a scary weapon, so that would be a major upgrade for the Bears. He would be their best tight end on their roster. Jags, Ryan Ramczyk, offensive lineman. Wisconsin would be the best offensive lineman in the draft, but injury concern, unable to work out yet. Jags need offensive line help. Rams, Forrest Lamp, another guy that can easily go first round. The Falcons, I had him there at one point. That could be an option there in the first, but the Rams would love to have him in there. Jets, another crazy one. Alvin Kamara, running back, Tennessee, kind of just too good to pass, and they could use another running back, not getting Fournette in the first. Kamara is a top 20 player for me. I'm higher on him than most, but I know there's a lot of experts out there that are starting to get pretty high on him. I think this would as of now in my mock, this would be the best pick in the draft, best value pick in my opinion. I'm really high on Kamara, but it's sounding like he can go anywhere from mid-first to about this point. I don't see him getting past this point. It's really mind-blowing to me, but this is what I think will happen along those lines. Chargers, Zach Cunningham, another guy that can easily go first. A couple of those teams in the end of the first that need linebacker help, he can easily go in there, and it would not be a bad pick. But we find him in the second round to the Chargers. Panthers, Budda Baker, another guy. Could be a starting safety day one or a slot corner day one. Panthers would love to have him. Bengals, Zay Jones, wide receiver, East Carolina. Bengals could use another receiver when in there with A.J. Green. Zay Jones paired with him would just be very good. Bills, Malik McDowell is another one, just another guy that could go first round. A ton of potential, one of those high potential guys. So he could go first round just because of that. Solid defensive lineman from Michigan State. Saints, T.J. Watts, edge rusher. I consider him outside linebacker mainly from Wisconsin. He's getting some first round buzz. I don't see him going first. I wouldn't really agree with it because he is very raw, needs a lot of work. I actually have him graded as late second, so unlike most others. Very good player, good athlete, has a ton of potential. I know all that, but he needs some work in my opinion. And the Eagles next, Joe Mixon, running back from Oklahoma. Eagles I had them passing on Dalvin Cook in the first, going with a more bigger need at corner. And maybe they take a chance on Joe Mixon. Obviously, he's a great talent. Should go in the top 20 talent-wise, but drops to here. Cardinals, Tre'Davious White, corner from LSU. Kind of too good to pass at this point. Another guy that can easily go first. Thought about him at the Saints in the last pick in the first. I think more of a slot corner will be tried out outside. He could be a pretty good outside corner too, but could be a damn good slot corner. Colts, Jordan Willis, edge rusher from Kansas State. See him more as D end. But he's been getting some buzz lately, too. Another guy that can very easily go late first, but have him dropping here. I don't think the Colts pass on him. They can use pretty much anything on defense at this point. Ravens, Curtis Samuel, wide receiver / running back from Ohio State. Another guy getting buzzed lately, just his athletic ability. Maybe that moves him into the first. I wouldn't disagree with the pick, really. He's very athletic, can play multiple positions at a high level. Ravens just trying to get some weapons on offense there. Vikings, Dan Feeney, obviously a big need at guard for the Vikings. Dan Feeney would be a day one starter, and I think has a chance to go earlier in this. Redskins, Marcus Williams, safety from Utah. Had the Skins taking a quarterback in the first, went with safety in the second. They're doing their research on a lot of safeties. I personally think Marcus Williams is a first-round guy. I think he goes around this range, though, because of the other defensive talent, and that'll be a great pick. Browns, Evan Engram, tight end, Ole Miss. Mismatched tight end, very athletic. Browns wouldn't be able to pass at this point. Bucks, Adoree Jackson, corner from USC. More than just a corner, returner too. I think he needs some work at corner, but could go earlier in this because of his athletic ability. Broncos, I have them going with Montravius Adams, Auburn defensive lineman. This could be like the Malik Jackson replacement. They kind of missed him last year, and they have other needs, but maybe too good to pass here as well. Late first, maybe early second grade for Adams, so it'll be a great value pick. Lions, Cordrea Tankersley, corner from Clemson. They could use another corner with Slay. I know they signed a couple guys, but they could get better there. Tankersley, another guy that if he went late first, I wouldn't think it was a bad pick, but this is more of his range, maybe a little earlier, so it'll be a good pick. Dolphins, Fabian Moreau, UCLA corner. Late first round talent, recently got hurt. Supposed to be back in August, so he drops to here. Giants, Ryan Anderson could use some help at linebacker. It's the guy that can also play DM, but I see him as a linebacker. Would be a great pick. Raiders also need a linebacker. Raekwon McMillan from Ohio State. Texans got a quarterback in the first. Get some linemen for him in the second. Taylor Moton, I think, is a day one starter at guard, but maybe try it out at tackle, playing tackle this last season. Seahawks, Caleb Brantley, defensive lineman from Florida. Another one too good to pass at this point. Excellent player, and it's just a Seahawks pick, guy that can come in there and just play right away, even though they don't need him that badly, just too good to pass. Chiefs, Tim Williams. I have a first-round grade on Tim Williams. I think he drops, though, because he was tested positive for marijuana in the past. Nothing recent, though, but that could scare teams. Maybe the Chiefs take a chance on him since they needed a linebacker. Could be an outside linebacker for them. Or a D-end. Cowboys, next pick, Akello Witherspoon, corner from Colorado, one of my favorite players in the draft. Probably should go higher in this, but I think he goes late second to the Cowboys, fills a need. Packers, Tyus Bowser, another guy getting a lot of buzz, one of the biggest risers, can play outside linebacker, D-end. Don't think he gets by this point. And the Steelers, I have the Steelers taking a chance on Sidney Jones, corner from Washington. Was my number 1 corner until he got hurt. Supposed to be good to go day 1, but we'll see. Kind of up in the air still, maybe to some teams, because they're recently, today I actually saw this, a GM said that they have a round 3 grade on Sidney Jones after his injury, because of his injury. Falcons also taking a corner, Teez Tabor from Florida. He drops to here because of his speed. His workouts weren't too good. Said it was because of an injury that may have made it worse, personally, I think. But the Falcons could use another corner. He's a very good player. His tape is good, so this would be a great pick. Needs to work on his deep coverage. His short route coverage is just excellent. Maybe one of the best in this draft out of the corners. And the Panthers, I have the Panthers taking Cooper Kupp. Lost Ted Ginn. Could use another receiver that knows how to get open for Cam Newton there. I see him going in the second round. Couldn't believe he was the last pick in the second round because he's a great talent. And I can't believe these other guys that I did not have in the second. Deion Dawkins getting a lot of buzz. The Temple offensive lineman lately, he can go second. There are some teams that really like him. Juju Smith-Schuster, excellent wide receiver. Definitely worthy, in my opinion, as a second rounder. Just really there's just a run on defensive talent here in the second, so that pushes him out, I guess. Deontay Foreman, the Texas running back, recently ran a great 40, and that really helped the stock, but still really couldn't squeeze him in anywhere. I think Leonard Fournette kind of dropping a little bit, kind of pushed everybody back. Alvin Kamara was just, I couldn't believe I didn't have him in the first. I think he's a top 20 talent, so it kind of pushes a guy like Foreman or Marlon Mack back. Marlon Mack, I think, is a second-round talent as well. DeMarcus Walker, Florida State, edge rusher, can play multiple positions on the D-line and led the nation in sacks, or was second in the nation in sacks, so good player, worthy of a second-round pick. Brad Kaya, quarterback, Miami. I don't know if he's worthy of a second-round pick, but you know how teams value quarterbacks, so he could go second. I think he's right there with Davis Webb, so if Davis Webb is supposed to go that early, then maybe Kaya too. Carlos Henderson, all-purpose machine, excellent receiver, can be a top returner in the league. I think is an easy second-round talent, one of my favorite players in the draft. He should go second round, but again, the run on defense pushes him out. Desmond King, Iowa corner / safety. Teams think he may have to be a safety, so I guess that's what pushes him out. I think he can play corner at a good level, should be a second rounder. Bucky Hodges, next best available tight end from Virginia Tech, definitely a red zone threat. And then 3 safeties I have here at the bottom: Marcus May, Josh Jones, Justin Evans, all getting a lot of buzz, all worthy of second-round picks. They can easily go there too. Now, again, this is what I think will happen. If it was what I think should happen, it would look much different. But thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. That would be much appreciated. Follow our Twitter, frogs_angels. We'll be doing live draft grades on the first day, possibly more. So please follow us there and stay tuned for all that. Going to be tweeting all kinds of stuff leading up to the draft. And we'll always upload more videos leading up to the draft. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.